I have to say one thing to Diane to Sunanda, before we get started. I saw the picture of your 3 kitty cats. They look exactly like Sister Mary Patrick, one of ours. Sister Mary Patrick is one of our cats because she looks like she's in a Catholic habit. Yep.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of pictures.
It was one you just posted.
Oh, okay.
The 3 little ones.
Around the Christmas tree.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Well, how is everyone this afternoon? I hope you're all well. And we are on page 228 if you're following along in your book. And I think we're going to start. Holy Mother had just given her one of her old saris, and Mother said, wash it immediately. And she said, no, 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 I don't want to. So one day, Devendra and I presented ourselves before the Mother while she was taking her food. The Mother asked, would you like to have prasad? Both of us extended our hands to receive it. After she had partaken of a small quantity of the food, the Mother gave a good amount of it to each of us. Lest it should fall from our hands, she pressed it, placing on our palms. The Mother belonged to an Orthodox Brahmin family, and I to a Kayasta. With utter disregard for the caste rules, she touched my hand and began taking her food. Indeed, she looked upon us as her own children. Whenever I went to see the Holy Mother, I brought fruits and some other articles I could procure. I had heard that the Mother could not offer to Sri Ramakrishna things brought by anybody and everybody, and so I sometimes felt an apprehension whether the Mother would accept our presents because of our not being very pure souls. But I used to feel reassured on the Mother telling, my son, I presented to the Master the article you have brought. It was quite good, very sweet. I too have partaken of it. One day I asked her, Mother, does not the practice of repeating God's name gradually reduce the accumulated effects of a man's past actions? Everyone must experience the consequence of his past actions, the Mother replied. Nevertheless, the remembrance of God's name helps one this much. Instead of losing a leg, one may suffer merely from a thorn entering one's foot. I said, Mother, I can hardly perform spiritual practices, and I don't think I shall ever be able to. The Mother assured me, saying, what else will you do? Do what you're doing now. Remember that the Master is behind every one of you. I too am behind you. One day the Mother observed that Radhu was feeling restless owing to illness. She said to me, oh, my son, please see what's the trouble with Radhu. I did not know how to feel the pulse. However, to satisfy the Mother, I felt Radhu's pulse and said, there is nothing serious. She is somewhat weak. Please give her some milk to drink. The Mother, who was of a childlike nature, immediately began feeding Radhu with milk. After a while, Radhu's mother came and seated herself close to Radhu. This made the latter excited, and she did not like the idea that her mother should stay nearby. Pushing her a little with her hand, Radhu said, please move away. The Holy Mother's hand accidentally touched the feet of Radhu's mother. Being already very much perturbed, she cried out, why have you touched my feet? What will become of me now? The Mother had a hearty laugh at the behavior of Radhu's mother. Rash Biharida, who was standing nearby, said, Mother, you see how this madcap of a woman speaks ill of you always and even tries to hurt you? But now she seems to be frightened because your hand has touched her feet. Holy Mother's hand should never have touched anyone's feet. People's hands should have touched hers, but not the other way around. If they were showing respect for her, and Radhu's mother didn't often show respect. The mother said, in spite of his knowing that Rama was Narayana, the infinite Brahman, and that Sita was the primordial energy, the mother of the universe, Ravana nevertheless created so much trouble. Does not the mad woman know who I am? She knows everything, yet she creates all this fun. Referring to the rheumatic pain in her leg, I told her, Mother, I hear that your accepting the sins of others is responsible for this illness of yours. I have one earnest prayer to you. Kindly do not suffer on my account. Kindly allow me to undergo sufferings for my past deeds. The mother replied, how is that possible? Let all be happy, and I shall suffer for them. Ah, what an unfathomable manifestation of compassion I saw in her. Prior to leaving Jairambati, as I prostrated before the mother, she placed her hand on my head and mentally repeated the name of the Lord. Then she said affectionately, they feel like staying with me, but what can they do? They have so much of household work to look after. Expressing her solicitude like the mother of a man bound for a far-off country, the mother walked with me some distance from her house and stood gazing with her eyes full of tears. Once I stayed in Calcutta for 3 weeks. I went to the Holy Mother's house at Bog Bazaar. After making obeisance at her feet, I said, Mother, I shall be in Calcutta for a few days. A rule has been introduced here permitting people to see you only twice a week. If you kindly permit me, I shall come to see you now and then. The mother replied, certainly. Come whenever you can and inform me. During this period, one day I approached her and said, Mother, I do not find any peace of mind. My mind remains agitated all the time. I am not free from desires. On hearing this, the mother looked intently at me for a long time, but did not utter a word. Her look of distress brought me remorse. I wondered why I should have told her these things. Taking the dust of her feet, I bade her farewell and went to Master Mahashai's residence in Guru Prasad Chowdhury Lane. I saluted him and said, You massaged the Master's feet many a time. Kindly stroke my head a little, for I feel greatly agitated. Master Mahashai replied, What's this? You are the mother's son. She loves you dearly. Why should you seek consolation from me? Didn't the mother cast her benign glance upon you? Oh, yes, she looked at me for a while, I replied. Thereupon, Master Mahashai said, What more do you need? If Shama casts her glance on a man, he swims in eternal bliss. He emphatically repeated this saying 3 times. Now I realized the significance of the mother's looking at me for a while. I became quiet. It now appeared to me that the mother had sent me to Master Mahashai just to enable me to understand the meaning of her gracious glance. Early one morning, I went to see the Holy Mother. My wife and one of my daughters accompanied me. I told her, Mother, my wife and daughter cannot see you often. Permit them to stay with you for the whole day. I shall come in the afternoon to take them home. The mother agreed. My wife had not put on her forehead the vermilion mark of married women. One of the lady devotees then asked her, Well, why do you not have a vermilion mark on your forehead? When the mother heard this, she said, What does it matter if she has not? She has such a noble husband. What if she hasn't worn the mark? Saying so, the mother herself put a vermilion mark on my wife's forehead. My wife was thinking, if the mother permits, I shall massage her feet. Strangely enough, the mother called her after a while and said, "Daughter, please rub oil on my head and body." Well, my wife was combing the mother's hair after putting oil on it. The thought came to her, "Mother permitting, I shall take these hair strands home." The mother smiled and on her own took out the hair strands from the comb and presented to my wife, saying, "Take these." A woman devotee asked the mother, "Who is this daughter?" The mother replied, "She is the wife of Suren who lives in Ranchi. Suren has great faith in the master." That day, the mother took my wife to the Ganga when she went for her bath. The brahmacharans had mixed up the sari and towel we had brought for mother with a few other clothes. But the mother picked up our sari and towel when she went for her bath. After the holy bath in the Ganga, the mother paid 1 paise to the priest at the ghat, saying, "Put a sandal paste mark on the forehead of this daughter." The priest at the ghat is a Brahmin priest who attends to the orthodox rituals after a holy bath. While taking her meal, the mother gave my wife prasad from her own plate. After the meal, she asked my wife to massage her feet. My young daughter, who was lying on a piece of blanket, soiled it. My wife was about to wash it when the mother took it from her and washed it herself. My wife said, "Well, mother, why should you wash it?" The mother replied, "Why should I not, dear? Is not the child my own?" In the afternoon, I went to the Udbodhan office and found that Upen Babu was the only visitor there. I learned that all the others had gone to attend the celebrations at the Vivekananda Society. I went upstairs straight to the mother and saluted her. She said, "Look, there's no male attendant here today. Devotees will be coming to see me. Today you will serve as the usher and also distribute prasad to the devotees." A little later, I showed some devotees into the mother's drawing room, and after they saluted her, gave them prasad. Gradually, the devotees thinned out, and finally all left. Mother, today you have served as a member of the household. You showed the devotees in and gave them prasad. Disciple, why? Don't I belong to your household? Mother, yes, that's right. You are my own son. Saying this, the mother continued, speaking to my wife. Yes, dear, all are my children, no doubt, but some of them are specially related. He bears a special relationship with me. Don't you see how he frequents this place? How he is close to me. Then the mother gave us prasad and betel leaf. Touching my chin endearingly, she said, "You need have no fear hereafter. Feel quite at ease. This is your last birth." Disciple, certainly, your grace makes everything easy. My wife brought for the mother an asana, that's a small carpet which one can sit on, which she herself had made. It pleased her very much. Showing it to everyone, she said, "Ah, look at it. What a beautiful asana my daughter has made." Even a trifling thing from a devotee used to gladden her so much. Another time I proceeded for Jairambati in the company of 4 devotees. We left the monastery at Kolpara early enough to arrive at the house of the Holy Mother before sunset, but we were delayed. Though we had with us a local porter, and though I too was familiar with the place, we took a wrong road when we were close to the mother's house. We found it difficult to ascertain the road leading to our destination. The local porter too got confused and could not help us. It sounds so much like India. "No problem, madam, no problem." Dusk passed into night, and the surroundings were scarcely visible. My companions got bewildered. Finding no other alternative, I spread a blanket in a bamboo grove and sat down. I was overcome with the thought, Mother, how is it that we alone should search for you and you yourself should do nothing whatsoever? A true devotee. Soon after, we noticed Rash Bihari Dada, that's Swami Arupananda, Holy Mother's attendant, and Hamendra, another brahmachari, another attendant, coming with a lantern in hand. We were amazed at their appearance at such an odd hour. They explained, we had no plan to come by the road, but luckily we just happened to take this route. When we met the mother and saluted her, she asked, well, sons, you have wandered a lot, haven't you? Disciple, yes, mother, we took a wrong road. At that time, the mother's new house was being constructed, and the two brahmacharans just mentioned were terribly busy with the work. 2 devotees from Sylhet had come. Of the 2, one was a devotee of Swami Dayananda of Arunchala. Okay. The latter had declared this disciple of his to be an incarnation of Prahlada. I escorted them to the mother. After they saluted her, I said, Mother, in Arunchala, Arunachal. How do you say it? Arunachala. There's sometimes I look at them and they make no sense whatsoever. There's a monk by the name of Dayananda. He proclaims himself to be an incarnation of God. This gentleman is a disciple of his. Dayananda says he is Prahlada. The mother laughed and said, an incarnation indeed. The mother gave those two devotees spiritual initiation this time. Referring to the monk, I told the mother that he was giving spiritual initiation to many persons. The mother said, they belong more or less to the class of commercial monks. Still, even they bring some good to people. Men normally do not do any spiritual practice, but following the advice of these monks, they will at least do some practice. If one is sincere, he will finally come here. Don't you see how the holy name of Tarak Brahma is spreading, the Supreme Lord? Those who have worth in them cannot help but come under its influence. The mother initiated all the 4 companions of mine. One of them was rather young. When his initiation was over, the mother told him, repeat the mantra 108 times. But this did not satisfy him. He wanted to chant the holy name 100 million times a day. Youthful enthusiasm. Smiling a little, the mother observed, now you are thinking like this, but because of your multifarious duties, you can't do that much. Well, it would be fine if you can do more. One day, I remember when I first came to the convent and I thought, Swami, what more can I do? And he said, memorize the Gita. And I went, the whole thing? Yes, you have much enthusiasm in your young days. One day I procured some lotuses for worshiping the mother. She said, go and offer some to Simhavani and keep the rest here. One devotee said, I want to worship you with all the flowers I have brought. To him the mother replied, well, it may be done, but don't you see these old feet of mine? Why would you worship them? A number of devotees were near about when I told her. Mother, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, pure devotion is the essence of all. You kindly bless me so that I can have that kind of devotion. The mother kept quiet. The people present gradually left the place. Then the mother quietly said, is it possible for anybody and everybody to have that? But you will have it. The mother told Radhu, He is your elder brother. Salute him. I wondered, how's that? I belong to Kayasta family, the warrior's caste. Won't it cause me harm if she, a Brahmin girl, salutes me? At last, both of us saluted each other. One day I had a great desire to take pantabat, and boiled rice kept in water overnight, a common dish in rural Bengal. It's kind of soggy. And asked the mother for it. She said, wait for a while. I'll fry hot chilies and pulse cake in oil. People in your part of the country are very fond of chilies. The mother mimicked the tune of a traditional gramophone record, saying, I shan't give you even one less than 32 chilies. Saying this, she began to laugh heartily. Another day at Jairambati, the mother said, I have to face much hardship, you see, all through the day. Devotees come every minute, one batch following another. There is no end to this. This body of mine is almost at the breaking point. Praying to the Master, I have somehow fixed my mind on Radhu, and thus kept it on the worldly plane. It struck me that this was parallel to Sri Ramakrishna's keeping his lofty mind on the worldly plane by clinging to such desires as, I shall drink water, or I shall smoke. Was not the mother bearing so much trouble for the good of the many? While taking leave of the mother, I said, Mother, you have millions of children like me, but I have not another mother like you. On hearing this, the mother, with tears in her eyes, endearingly fondled me, touching my hand with her chin. This is the Bengali mother's way of kissing her grown-up children, touching their chins. Once I went to Jairambati to request the mother to go to Ranchi for a change of climate after her illness. It was the month of Chaitra, March-April. When she heard this proposal, the mother remarked, one should not go out in the month of Chaitra. Even Sarat came here to escort me to Calcutta and stayed here a long time awaiting my convenience. Calcutta should therefore have my preference. About that time, one of the sisters of Swami Keshavananda died. Referring to this, I observed, Mother, it is a pity that Swami Keshavananda's mother should suffer a bereavement in her old age. The mother replied, bereavement will not upset her peace of mind. On my return journey, I met the old lady at Kolpara and found that she had no trace of grief at all. She was all smiles as usual. I wondered, even a great sage like Vasishta experienced bereavement, but here I find the contrary. Once I called upon the mother at the Udbodhan house in the company of Sri Rajendra Mukhopadhyaya. When we saluted the mother, she prayed to Sri Ramakrishna with folded palms. Master, kindly fulfill all their desires. Thereupon I asked, how's that, mother? We shall be ruined if all our desires are fulfilled. How many bad desires are there in the heart? The mother laughed and said, you need not be afraid of that. The Master will grant only those desires which you really need and which will bring you good. Continue to practice what you are doing now. Why fear? We are with you. Very early one morning, a calf was pitifully crying in the outer courtyard of the mother's house at Jairambati. The calf was kept separated from its mother for the purpose of milking the cow. On hearing its cry, the mother rushed out saying, I'm coming, child, I'm coming. I shall release you just now. Coming to the courtyard, she freed the calf. I was wonderstruck on seeing this revelation of the compassion of the Divine Mother towards all beings. Alas, only such an anguished cry can bring about the release of the soul. I do not have the language to give expression to the Holy Mother's boundless affection, infinite compassion, and limitless kindness. We are all blessed by seeing her lotus feet, touching them, and receiving her grace. Our families have been made holy, and our mothers have been blessed. Hundreds of devotees have turned into gold by this touchstone. Now, is there any discussion about this series of reminiscences before we go on to the next series? Okay, we're on then section 6 recorded by Brahmachari Ashoka Krishna. I don't know what his Swami's name would have been. Do you, Pravrajika?
No.
Okay. That's not one I'm familiar with at all, but it's very short. We'll stop after his. One morning during her last illness, I went to see the Holy Mother. There was no one else in her room at the time. She was staying in the southernmost room. During daytime, the mother's bed used to be spread on the floor of that room. She had been keeping better health for the last few days. It was the first week of the month of Chaitra, third week of March. As soon as I made salutations to the mother, she began to inquire about the other members of my family. Seeing her very lean and thin, I said, "Mother, your health has very much deteriorated. I have never seen you so weak before." The mother said, "Yes, my son, the body has become quite emaciated. It seems that whatever the Master had wanted to get done through this body has already been accomplished. Now my mind is constantly directed towards him. Nothing else brings happiness to this mind. Look how dearly I loved Radhu, how much care I took in looking after her. But now all this has changed. Now when Radhu approaches me, I feel uneasy. I feel, why should she try to drag my mind down? For the sake of his work, the Master kept my mind tied down to the world through these aids. Otherwise, would it have been possible for me to continue in this world after he passed away?" Disciple: Mother, such words from you are very painful to us. If you leave us, what will happen to us? We don't practice austerities. We have hardly any renunciation. If you don't maintain your body for our sake, how shall we get the strength to survive in this realm of Mahamaya? Whenever any weakness would assail my mind, I used to tell you everything and find a way out every time. But where shall we go now? We shall all be helpless. Mother: What? Why should you be helpless? Does not the Master guide you through good and bad? Why should you be so worried? I have deposited you at his holy feet. You will have to move about within that circle. You cannot go beyond it. He is always protecting you. Disciple: Even though I remember the mercifulness of the Master, I fail to understand it at all the time. Though I often have faith in it, I am haunted by doubts at times. But I can see you directly. I tell you everything, and you instruct me on how to follow the best course for my own good. This has instilled in me the conviction that I am under your protection. Mother, always remember that the Master is the only protector. If you forget this, you will have trouble. Do you know why I inquired about your family so much? I first heard from Ganen that you had lost your father, so I asked him about the close relations of your mother, whether she has means to maintain herself and whether she can manage her affairs without you. When I heard that she can pull on even without you, I felt relieved. and thought, well, the boy has taken a good resolve, and now by the grace of the Master, he will not face any serious trouble. She continued, everyone should serve his mother, particularly those of you who have come together here to serve all people. Had your father not left behind some wealth, I would have asked you to earn money with which to serve your mother. It is by the will of the Master that you are not burdened by any such trouble. It will be enough if you can make some arrangement so that the family property is not squandered while under the management of a woman. Oh dear. As for yourself, you are in a very advantageous position. Men can hardly earn money through honest means, and even this contaminates their mind very much. That's why I advise you to settle these monetary affairs as early as possible. Money is such a thing that one develops an attachment for it if one is associated with it for long. You may think that you have no attachment for it, that since you have renounced it once and for all, you will not get attached to it, that you will be able to be free from it whenever you wish. Oh no. Never harbor such an idea in your mind. Money will find its way somehow to grip you unawares by the neck, as it were. I'm telling this particularly to you who belong to Calcutta. You are free with money, aren't you? You settle your family affairs as early as possible and leave Calcutta. And if you can take your mother to some place of pilgrimage, both of you will be able to call upon God, forgetting the mother-son relationship. It will be nice if you can arrange it now while your mother is mourning. She is already aged. Try to explain your intention to her. Discuss this with her. You will play the true role of a son, only if you can help her acquire the means for her higher evolution in the hereafter. Don't forget that you've grown up by sucking the milk of her breasts. Remember with what difficulty she tended you. To serve her is your highest religion. It would be different, of course, if she stands in the way of your progress towards God. Please bring your mother here at once. I want to see what she is like. If I find her helpful to you, I shall give her some advice. But beware. Don't engage yourself in worldly affairs under the cover of serving your mother. The real issue is to provide board and lodging for her because she is a widow. Is a big amount of money necessary for this? Try your utmost to quickly settle these affairs, even if there be some monetary loss. The Master would not touch money at all. Since you have renounced everything to realize the Master's ideal, always remember his words. Money is at the root of all evil in this world. At your tender age, your mind will easily feel tempted if you possess some money. Beware. Remember, this is a brahmachari that she's talking to. Disciple, I thought of bringing my mother to you one day, but considering the present condition of your health, I don't dare to bring her here. Mother, no, bring her here one day. Many people are coming. The condition of this body will deteriorate day by day. Bring her very soon. I don't feel too bad in the mornings. Can you not bring her in the morning one day? Don't be too late in the day. Otherwise, the attendant may not permit her to see me. Disciple, Mother, your words are very painful to me. Your repeated mention of your health suggests that you don't desire to keep your body anymore. Mother, the continuation of this body is not under my control. It all depends on his will. Why are you all so impatient? How long do you really stay near me? You stay at the Mott, sometimes, or somewhere else at other times. How many of you find an opportunity to speak to me or stay near me. You don't even care to inform me of your whereabouts. Disciple, yes, it is true that there is hardly any scope for our staying with you, but we know in our heart of hearts that you are here. Whenever any weakness assails us, we rush to you and we are relieved. Mother, suppose the Master lets this body of mine perish. Do you think I can be free even then, so long as a single person of whom I have taken charge remains in bondage? I shall have to be with them all. I have taken the responsibility for their well-being. Giving initiation is no joke. One has to bear on one's shoulders such a huge burden, you see. How much I have to worry over them. You see, just see, when your father expired, I felt very sad. I thought, the Master has again put this young man to the test. I worried as to how you would manage in this situation. That was why I talked with you so long. Do you really understand everything? If you could, the burden of my worries would be diminished. The Master is sporting with different people in different ways. And now you see, I have to bear the brunt of it all. Surely I cannot leave those whom I have accepted as my own. Disciple, Mother, I become frightened whenever I wonder what will happen to us when you are gone. Whom shall we approach in your place? Mother, my son Rakal, Swami Brahmananda, and others are there. Are they any less worthy? You dearly love Rakal also. You can seek his help. Besides, what else have you got to ask? To question too much is not good. It is difficult to properly assimilate even one thought. Now, why should you trouble your mind by harboring 10 thoughts? Dive deep with the noble idea that you have received. Repeat the holy name, meditate on it. Keep good company and subdue the ego by all means. Do you see the childlike nature of Rakal, as if he is still a young boy? Don't you see Sarat, who does so much work, bearing all tribulations silently? Being a monk, he has no need for all these troubles. These monks can fix their minds on God all the time if they so wish. They bring their minds down only for you, your welfare. Keep them before you as an ideal and serve them, and make it a point to remember always whose child you are, who has granted refuge to you. Whenever an evil thought haunts you, tell your mind, being her child, can I stoop so low as to indulge in any such activity? You will find that you gain strength and peace of mind. Okay, I think we'll stop there this afternoon. Is any comments or questions?
How old was Holy Mother when she died?
I really don't know, Sunanda.
67.
How old?
67.
60 or 50?
60.
67.
That's
So-
not that old.
Well, it was quite old in India in those days, remember? Ramakrishna was 50 when he died, and he was the old man. Yeah, it was quite old. But not nowadays. But yeah, it was quite a thing. Any other comments or questions about these things? I mean, she pretty much answers all the questions of what you need to do. Love God, repeat your mantra, keep one pointed. Not a whole lot of things to think about. Is everyone staying well? And everyone staying in? So far, yep. Okay. Right. Okay, I think we'll stop there. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Panamastu. Let's